Hello and welcome to part 5 of my Tekkit guides, and today, as you can see, we're looking at energy, or specifically how to harness it. So we've got two types, obviously sustainable and also non-sustainable. And also during this episode we'll be looking at how to refine oil. It looks slightly space age, but it is in fact a wind farm. Obviously, there are going to be a few disadvantages with using wind turbines. One of which is that you need to use glass fibre cables, which are the cables you can see in this shot. Now, this is a problem because the glass fibre cables are the most expensive type of cable you can get. They use 1 diamond in the manufacture, and that makes about 6 glass fibre cables. So they're not exactly cheap to make. However, they are the most efficient type of cable. They can carry high voltages over long distances, and they only drop about 1 EU every 40 blocks. What's EU? EU is the basically electrical unit of energy in this game. They're pretty much the most unpredictable and unstable type of energy generator in this game. Wind turbines can produce about 50% extra EU in a thunderstorm, and 20% when it's raining. So the ideal conditions are basically appalling conditions, pretty much. So they're not the best type of energy to use. However, what I have got are these. Yep, they're solar cells, and they're much better. However, they too do have their problems. For example, you need a lot of them for it to be effective, because they don't really produce a great deal, as you could probably imagine. Also, they're very expensive to make, They require electronic circuits, and you have to get copper. Oh, it's a nightmare. But solar cells are good because they're much more reliable. I mean, obviously they won't work at night, and they won't work underground, goes without saying, so don't try and put them underground, please. You only make a tit of yourself. So, yep, they'll work from about 6:20 in the morning to 5:45 at night, Minecraft time. So that's about a window of opportunity you've got there. And obviously bad weather will decrease their efficiency. So whereas with the wind turbines, thunderstorms increase their efficiency, with solar panels they'll decrease in efficiency. So they kind of help each other out really, in that sense. Now these solar generators can produce roughly 13,000 EU a day, which sounds a lot, but once you've got a machine running with it, it will deplete very quickly. Windmills, on the other hand, will produce 250 EU a day. However, when you multiply that by the height of the wind turbine, that's the EU total you'll get. So you can get, quite a bit more than the solar panels, depending on how high you place them and how efficient they are in your placement. So those are the two useful, sustainable options. There is a third one, which is the water mill, as you can see here, but they're very fiddly to get right. I'm not really sure how to do them correctly because there's no guide so I can find on the internet. I think I read a guide recently that you have to have them in a fairly large expanse of water, and it has to be flowing. So I need to try and fiddle around with that. If I can get some better results, I'll let you know. But yeah, they don't really produce much at all, so it's not really worth going for, in my opinion. So, what are we going to do with all this energy that we've generated? Well, we need to store it, and to do that, we have a particular tool. We have a few tools at our disposal. The first being something called a back box. Now I'll show you an example because it's under the stairs here. this is a back box. It's currently full up because it's been going for a few days. You can see my water mills there. I'm not doing very well. But yeah, the back boxes can only hold 40,000 EU, which sounds a lot, but like I said, it's not going to get you very far if you're running more than about 2 or 3 machines. So the ideal setup you want is something which you can see over here. Now this is an MFE, and as you can see, the total you can get is 600,000 EU, which is a whole load more. So you may have noticed, the keen amongst you, that this produces an output of 128 EU over T, whereas the back box only does 32 EU over T. Now, 32 EU over T is basically what all machines run at in the Tekkit pack. So, because the MFE runs at 128, you need to step it down using this, which is the low voltage transformer. Now I'll show you all this in a second. You have to make sure you wire it up correctly for it to work. Now you can see this all looks very confusing, but I will show you how to build it. This is basically an oil refinery. And it's probably in one of its simplest forms, although obviously you can do a simpler form if you want to. So the idea is we've pumped oil into these tanks, it's then being refined in this refinery here, and then it's being pumped into separate tanks. Now the refined oil can be used in machinery, and in engines, so it's worth collecting if you stumble across oil. So, how do we get access to this oil? How do we extract it? Well, we've got a natural oil spill here, which kind of generated in random places in the world. And basically, first you have to find the source block. Now normally it's pretty obvious, but because I've previously taken a little bit of oil out of this, it's not so easy to spot. However, there is one way of telling where the source block is, and that is to kind of get in the oil, and you'll see there's like this huge hole down there. Now that's basically a huge shaft, natural shaft, and at the bottom there is a huge chamber filled with oil. We now need to extract it, so now we know where the source block is, which is here. I'm just going to put a block just there, just so I know where it is. And then all you do is put a block over it, like that. The next thing you'll need is a pump. So I'm going to go to my purpose-built facility down here and show you what items you will need to build a refinery. So obviously we've got all the sustainable sources of energy down here, water mills, windmills and solar panels. And also you can either use copper cable or glass fibre. Glass fibre obviously is less expensive, but it's more efficient. Copper cable does pretty good, but it loses energy over time. So, you see the pump here, so we're going to take a pump out. You might want to keep a few bricks in your inventory, which I'll show you why in a minute. We'll also need some tanks. We will need some wooden waterproof pipes. And we will need some either cobblestone or stone, whichever, to make sure you use the same for each. We also need some redstone engines and a few levers. And that'll be all we need for the moment. So first thing I would do is set up an area where you put the tanks. So I'm going to put a few here. Now you might need quite a few. I recommend having a gap between them, just to spread it out a little bit. And you can basically have them as high as you want. So we need to link these up at the top with wooden waterproof pipes. Just ignore the fact it's connecting to the wire, so it doesn't do anything. So, okay, so now we've connected it up. We can now just basically make a hole in the wall somewhere and put the pipe feeding out of it like that. And now all we need to do is now build a pipeline out to the oil source. And we're just going to put the pump on top like so. And then it's important to remember to remove the block beneath, or else it won't work. So you'll see the pump go down and start searching for oil. Now, the next thing to do is to build a 3x3 platform around the pump, like so. And you might want to kind of tidy up the oil around just to make it, a bit more manageable. Okay, the next stage is to put 4 redstone engines around each side of the pump, like so. And then you want to put some levers, one in this diagonal corner, and one in the other, like so. The next stage is to put a wooden waterproof pipe on the top of the pump. And then you want to continue the pipeline to join up with the top of the pump. And once you've done that, it's just a case of putting a redstone engine on the wooden waterproof pipe that's on top of the pump. And then all you do is put a lever next to it, and then you can activate all the levers, and hopefully you should see the oil start to travel along the pipeline. Now it may take a little while, just while the pumps get going. So we're just going to get some of our electricity. So if we go up to here, I'm just going to bring a simple cable just from up here and link it up to this building. Now, from experience, it's better to have your kind of glass fibre cables high up. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to destroy this bit here. Well, actually, maybe next bit. Yeah, there we go. This is simply because it's much easier to plug everything in, rather than having it all on the floor. So once you get it in here, you probably want to have it around 4 blocks up. That's the way I do it anyway. So we're going to have our MFE up here, and we want our low voltage transformer there. Now the dots on them denote where the outputs and inputs are. And we're going to need a special tool to change these. Now you've got the rents, we've actually got 3 types of rents, and I can never remember which ones it is, so I'm going to hazard a guess it's the orange coloured one, because it's very hard to remember, and yeah, that's my brain. So we want, on the MFE, we want the output, which is the dot, to go on the bottom by right clicking with the rents. We want the 3-pin bit to go on the top by right clicking on the top. We can then join the two with, oh, we don't want that to do that. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, we can then join the two with a glass fibre cable, and we just need to check that power's going in. So we've got power going in, and we'll use this to power all our engines that we're going to use. So that's good, we've got a healthy amount of power going in. So we now need to set up a refinery. So all we need to do is we're going to put one refinery there, one refinery there. I mean, it's up to you how many refineries you have. Obviously, the more you have, the quicker it will be, but I'm going to put 2 down. So we need some more waterproof pipes, both wooden and either cobblestone or just normal stone. And we're going to connect the wooden to the bases of these oil storage tanks, and we're going to link them all up using the stone or cobblestone pipes, like so. Now don't forget, every new pipeline will need its own kind of pump or own motor. And since we've got all this electricity, we're going to use the electricity here. So we're going to use electric motors. So, like I said, it's best to have it up quite high, then you can work out where to put it all. So we're going to put an electric engine, one there, and probably one over here as well, like so. And we need a lever next to both of them, like so. Now obviously we need to connect it up to the power supply, and that one's already connected up because it's so close to the pipeline, but we're going to bring this above the whole lot. Okay, so we've linked those both up, so they'll now work if we, or they should work, if we turn the levers on. But we're going to leave it, because we've got to wait for that to fill up a little bit. Now the next stage is, so we powered those pipes, and we now need to power the refinery. Now, for it to be efficient, the refinery is going to take quite a few electric motors. So what the best way of doing it is to actually set up a whole bank of them in kind of a corner of the room. So I've got 4 here. Now you may be thinking, well, how the hell am I going to get them to power those 2 refineries? It's a good question. We need some special kinds of pipes, which are the conductive pipes. Now we need both, obviously, the wooden, and we need the stone conductive pipes. So what we need to do is put the wooden ones over the top. Now obviously you can't directly place them on top, because the scripting doesn't work that way. So you've got to kind of, do this. Okay, and then we join the tops with the stone conductive pipe, like so. And then don't forget, we also need to put some cabling to connect it up to the power supply. So there we go. Now you can see why we need so much power to do all this, and you can also see why I recommend you do the cabling in the air. Otherwise, you're going to get very congested on the floor if you try and do it on the floor. So I'm just going to actually going to move that around a bit, because I want room to put the pipes down. So there we go. Now don't forget, also we'll need levers. So I'm going to put one there, and one there, and I think that will power all 4, hopefully. Now at the moment they're facing the wrong direction. So we need the other spanner, which is the yellow spanner. Well, it is in this texture pack anyway, which I think is the standard one. We're just going to right click on them until we're facing the right direction, which is that direction. So the end thing is, well, you kind of want it like that really. So, our tank's filling up. Admittedly, one more than the others, but that's fine, doesn't matter. The next stage is to link these up with our refineries. So we're just going to put some pipes, like so. And again, it's probably best to have it all in the air, because otherwise the floor is going to get completely covered in pipes and you won't know what's going on. So there we go, that's all joined up. Nice. Good. So now those 4 engines over here will power these 2 refineries. Now you probably need a few more engines for that in fairness, but this is a quick demo, so I'm trying to do it as fast as I can. So obviously the next stage is we need to put some final tanks for the refined oil to go into. So we're going to need more wooden and stone waterproof pipes. to do this. So, very simple. Wooden pipes, stone pipes, and you're just going to put some, just need a few tanks. Like so. And then all your refined oil will go in there. Now obviously, because it's a new pipeline, we need some new electric engines in. So we'll just, I might need to change that pipeline. There we go. So we're just going to put one on either side. Put a lever next to them. And connect them up to the electrical kind of network of wires we've got. So I'm just going to bring one over from here, like so. And that one's connected. And then we do the same over here. Now hopefully you can see what an advantage it is having all these in the air rather than on the ground. I would definitely recommend it. It's just going to save you a lot of hassle. So, everything is connected, and hopefully, once we turn on all these motors, hopefully it will all work. So, fingers crossed I haven't forgotten to do anything. So, let's turn on the first pump, and the second one, and we're also going to turn on these two, and these four. So when the wheels are going up and down, you will know that it's all working, and you can see that actually looks like it's working, and you can see our refined oil is slowly dripping into this huge tank we've got. So obviously with the MFE you can check the power level, and it's slowly going, well it's actually quite quickly going now. So you know, and it's, well that's the reason, it's raining and it's dark. So obviously you can either turn it off and go to bed, and turn it back on in the morning, or you can just do that. And hopefully we will see either start to neutralise or it go up. So it's actually still going down. But that doesn't surprise me, because I've actually got this refinery running as well, that I did earlier. So I've got a lot of stuff running. I've got, well, let's count how many engines I've got in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, well I've got 8 electrical engines in here alone. I've got about the same amount in here as well. So if I just go into the other room actually, and I can show you what I prepared earlier. And I can see I've got a hell of a lot of oil that's been refined. And you can use that to kind of power all the combustion engines, which are a much better engine. But I won't cover that in this video, because I'm running out of time. So, reason for that is they need cooling, so you've got to kind of have a water supply as well, so it's all very complicated. But that's no worry. So you can see this one's rapidly decreasing as well. So obviously if you have loads of engines running, you're going to run out of energy. Once you run out of energy, the motors will stop. The engines will stop, so something to bear in mind. So that pretty much concludes this episode. It's been a long one, but hopefully it will help you get your own refinery working. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or you need help, feel free to ask, and rate, comment and subscribe. If you subscribe, it means you can get all the latest from me and you don't have to go searching, so that's probably a good thing to do if you want to make sure you don't miss out. So, thank you very much guys, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye!